Thank you again for joining us for the MAX Product Tour. Today's webinar will be presented by expert Denise Meyer. All right, Denise, take it away.
All right, well, thanks, Kate, and thank you all for joining us today for the MAX Product Tour. I'm going to be giving you a little bit of information on Exact as a business partner to help you with your ERP project. Then we're going to take a look at the MAX software itself, and I'm going to share my desktop and walk through the software so that you can see what it would be like in a day of the life using the MAX ERP system. We will be sure to save time for questions and answers at the end, and as Kate mentioned, you can send those through the chat forum. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. All right, MAX has been helping small to mid-sized manufacturing businesses establish business process controls, reduce costs, and make their systems more efficient for more than 30 years now. We're primarily North American focused with support in all areas of North America, although we do have customers with sites abroad as well. MAX has been installed in more than 900 manufacturing businesses and helps them run their business more efficiently day in, day out. In addition to the software, we have a team of implementation experts that are there to help make sure that your people are trained on how to use the tools and that you get the most value from your investment. And of course, on an ongoing basis, you have access to our technical support team as well as our 24/7 customer portal so that you can get at frequently asked questions and knowledge base of information. MAX is used in many industries, but it is primarily an ERP software tool for discrete manufacturing businesses. Anyone who has parts and materials to manage on a bill of materials needs to process that through with purchase orders, inventory control, and shop floor control. MAX can provide value for your business. However, we do tend to specialize in electronics organizations, in medical device companies or capital equipment manufacturing, those industries where regulatory needs are important, where it's important to have integrated quality management systems and document control systems to work with your transactional ERP database. MAX is built on a solid technology foundation using Microsoft SQL Server as its database. And accessing that, we provide tools that give you reporting options to leverage tools that you already know and use. Things like Excel Analytics for database analysis, Crystal Reports or Microsoft SQL reporting services to allow you to tailor your reporting with graphs and charts and see trends. So at the heart of the system is a rock-solid foundation. And we've always been focused on manufacturing, and so we took a best-of-breed approach for our back-end financials. The MAX software works with both QuickBooks and Microsoft Dynamics GP so that you have strong manufacturing functionality with a best-of-breed back-end financial package. This allows you to leverage your existing investment in QuickBooks or Microsoft Dynamics and eliminate duplicate data entry and expand that system with solid manufacturing tools. Now, the MAX solution is a very complete ERP system with modules that span the entire manufacturing enterprise. It's sold as an enterprise bundle with everything that you see here on the screen. But we also have a very active community, as Kate mentioned, and there are expansion capabilities that allow you to extend beyond the core to reach out to customers or suppliers with portal access, to allow event management and triggers to allow for exception reporting. So you can expand that core package to integrate in other areas as needed. One of the responsibilities that we've taken for many years now is to help our customers through technology shifts. And this occurred back when the technology market was moving from DOS or flat screens to a Windows environment. It's occurring again now with the age of mobility and access to the internet. It's become almost expected that you have access to information on your smartphone or tablet, and the Max team has helped our clients through this transition. A couple of years ago, we introduced Max Anywhere, which is a fully mobile application that allows you not only to inquire into your ERP database, but to create orders and perform transactions, to use dashboards for trend analysis, and to get at your Max information from, well, anywhere. We also make it easy to deploy the solution, and we offer Max on either a subscription basis or a perpetual model. With a subscription model, you can secure the system on a low per user per month subscription basis. Or with the perpetual licensing, you can purchase Max as a one-time perpetual license with an optional annual support fee that keeps your software up to date. And in regards to deployment, you can deploy Max on premises if you have a server at your facility, or you can deploy it on a private cloud. So yes, all of these options are supported. So that's a little bit about the Max software. Let's talk about what it takes to get it running and maintain the system on an ongoing basis. With Max, we have a proven implementation methodology, and it starts with installing the software, and when we do so, we'll install both a live database and a sandbox database so that you have an environment to work with, and on an ongoing basis, you can test out new capabilities and work with it prior to deploying in your live environment. Next, we'll work with you to create a project plan, and that's really the roadmap that lays out the people, the resources, the tasks, the timelines that are needed to keep your project on time and under budget. From there, we'll provide some hands-on training and education that shows you the clicks and keystrokes and options that are available to you within the Max software. And then we'll work with you to model and map those business processes. With a tool like Max, there's always more than one way to accomplish just about any business process. So this phase of the implementation works with you to define the best practice for your business. And with that defined, we'll then pilot the process all the way from the beginning until the end and make sure that it has the reports that support your business and that your people are prepared for that go-live activity. When everyone's nodding their head, then we're ready to schedule the go-live event, and hopefully it's a very smooth process as you cut over from your old system into the new environment. On an ongoing basis, you have access to our experienced technical support representatives. And our technical support team are not only software experts, but they have real manufacturing expertise as well. You can always call into our tech support team, or you can log your questions through our 24/7 customer portal. Out on the portal, you'll also find resources such as frequently asked questions, online videos available on demand, fact sheets, and more. And so that's available to you on an ongoing basis to ensure you're getting the most from your software investment. So that's an introduction to the Max team, the Max product, and some of the resources available to you. What I'm going to do now is share my desktop, and let's take a walk through Max together. All right. Welcome to Max. You should be seeing the System Manager on your screen now. When users log in, they're presented with tabs at the top that identify functional areas of a manufacturing business. Right now I'm on the Engineering tab, so from here I can drill into the creation of parts and bills of material. I can manage engineering changes or product configuration data. If I click here on the Customer tab, I can drill into my quotes or sales or shipments or warranty and RMA information. Or over here in the Production tab is where I can do my shop orders, labor tracking, and all of my production activities. So navigation is pretty straightforward. You just go to that area of the business and drill down into the details. I'm going to start off with the part master information, which is really at the heart of your ERP system. The part master defines the items that you'll be using, whether they're raw materials, sub-assemblies, finished goods, tools, resources, any type of item that's used in the production process for your product. Here on the Item Master of MAX, you also have tabs which delineate the different elements or attributes about this product. Of course, you have the ability to incorporate pictures and images into the system, as well as electronic documents that can be associated to any item, bill of material, customer, vendor, order, or more. So here, if I pull up a procedure document, for example, it knows that this is a PDF file, so it will bring up Adobe Acrobat with my procedure. If I pull up a SOLIDWORKS drawing, it will pull up the SOLIDWORKS viewer and show me that drawing. Or an XLS file will automatically link to Excel. So you have an unlimited number of documents that can be associated or tied into your database. Here on the Part Master, you also have attributes that will drive the planning and scheduling of your parts. Things like lead time information or minimum, maximum, and multiple order qualifiers. On the Inventory tab, you have all of your usage data available, as well as traceability attributes. So if you need to track your parts with lot number control, serial number control, both or neither, MAX can help you do that. On the Accounting tab, you have a full cost breakdown of your product, and MAX will do a cost roll-up so that you can see product costs at every level of your bill of materials. This can work with standard costing, weighted average, or last purchase price. So yes, MAX provides plenty of attributes that allow you to manage and track your materials at every step of the process. All right, next I'm going to pull up my visual bill of materials, and I'm pulling this up from my Shortcuts panel. Each of the MAX modules allows you to create your own user-defined shortcuts that are also very easy to set up. I simply right-click and check on or check off the options that I want on my Shortcuts menu. Here on my visual bill of materials, I have a tri-panel screen, and up at the top is a list of all of my parts. There are very good search engines available in MAX that allow you to quickly and easily search and locate items by part number, description, commodity code, substring searches. It's very easy to locate the items that you need. And as I double-click on an item, it will show me the single-level bill of materials on my left-hand panel. MAX is also a very visual system, so you have icons to identify different types of parts. This is a hammer with a plus sign below it, which indicates that that's a manufacturing subassembly with another level to the bill of materials. If I double-click on the plus sign, I can explode that out level by level, or here I can see a fully indented multi-level BOM. MAX allows you to go out 99 levels, so it will support even the most complex manufacturing environments. This icon is a dollar bill in coins, which denotes a purchase component. I also have icons for phantoms, pseudos, resources, and tools, so I can easily identify the type of item I'm working with. The button below the icon is a drill down button, and from here, if I wanted to look at more levels of detail, I can do that. For example, this component has multiple manufacturer's part numbers that cross-reference to that single item. So I can drill down into the details and get at more and more data. Now this left-hand panel is an active workspace, which means that if I want to make a change to the bill of materials or I want to add on another part, I can use my Shift and Control keys to add one or multiple items to the bill with a drag and drop process. And this works with single or multi-level items below it. Using this visual workspace, I can see a bill of materials from the top down, or I can also see a bottom-up where used. So here, if I put in a component part and double-click, on the bottom right-hand panel, I can see a fully indented multi-level where used for this component. So the engineers have a terrific workspace to create bills of material, to modify or see them on the screen. Now, in addition to working with your bills of material here, we also have integration tools that allow you to link your MAX bill of materials to your CAD system directly. That can be a real-time bidirectional link between CAD and ERP, or it can be an upload, sort of a push system with an upload from an Excel spreadsheet. We work to make it easy for your engineering team to design products, affect engineering changes, and get them into your planning and scheduling ERP system. All right, in addition to creating bills of material, MAX also provides an engineering change management tool that allows you to create new parts or make engineering changes to existing products through a more structured ECO process. With this process, you can keep an engineering change log, and then each ECO will record the details of that change. You can tie this to an engineering project. You can identify the type of change, what product line it's affecting, what phase of production you're in, and then using the bottom tabs, you have more free-form text available to describe that change. Here you see the parts that are affected, and for each of the parts on the ECO, you'll be able to see the current revision of that item and the new rev that will be affected if this ECO is approved and released for production. Now, an ECO might be changing one or more parts, BOMs, routings, and control documents. It also allows for electronic approvals and notifications, and once the change is fully approved, there's a formal release process to be able to release this ECO into your production area of MAX. You can establish an effectivity date so that if you need to consume existing stock or there's a lead time for the new parts that are being designed in, you might have an effectivity date out in the future. And your MAX MRP planning and scheduling tools will recognize that date, and the new product planning will kick in on the effective date. Now, one of the other great things about the ECO Manager is the fact that you have visibility to the rest of your manufacturing modules here within the ECO tool. So, for example, if I'm getting ready to change a product, I might want to know how many we have in inventory, or if this is used on any other bills of material. If it's a purchase component, I might want to know who the vendors are. And all of the revision history information is kept here and made available so that you can see the various revisions of each product and the effective bill of materials for each. So using the MAX ECO Manager, you can keep tight engineering change process control over your product lines and communicate effectively between those changes and the people who are taking action. Okay, now that we've got our product designed and we've got a good control process, I'm going to click on the Customer tab and drill into the Sales module for MAX. The MAX sales orders, quotations, invoices, purchase orders, they're all on-screen order forms that are easy to work with. I'm actually going to start with a quote, and then we can convert that quote into a sales order. But the MAX quoting module allows easy access to create quotes for standard product, where I may already have established prices. I can set up prices with quantity breaks. I can have customer-specific pricing tables. Or I can also have configured items. So if your product line has features and options, and the price is custom or unique for each combination, using the MAX Configurator tool, you can select from a list of options available for that product line. You can also define whether the option is required as part of this product configuration, or if it's an accessory or something that is an upsell item that allows you to get a higher average selling price for each item. Using the Max quoting tool, you can also quote miscellaneous or non-standard items, and this can be for things like expedite fees, engineering time. This can be a positive or a negative number. So if your business process provides rebates for customers, returned containers, shipping fees, any of that can be categorized as a miscellaneous item, but can also be identified so that the charges are charged to specific general ledger accounts and are tracked as part of your procedures. Finally, the Max quoting and estimating tool allows you to take any standard item and use it to drill into an estimate worksheet. I can from here load in my bill of material and routing and make any changes to this product line that are needed. Or I can pop it out to Excel or import from an Excel worksheet so that I can keep track of what was used to estimate this customer's product. When I'm ready, I can apply the bottom line price and from there give a desired markup, which will recalculate the unit price dynamically. So Max provides for flexible quoting and estimating of standard, configured, or custom products. Now when the customer is ready to place their order, I can use a simple one-click to convert this quote into an order. Or I can highlight the items that they'd like to order and use a drag and drop to modify or move items from a quote into a sales order. Once I have my sales order created, I now have firm demand that will drive the rest of my planning and scheduling activities to ensure that I have the raw materials that are needed, that my production schedules support the time frames that will allow me to ship this product on time and within budget. Max also has a terrific what-if planning simulation tool so that I can do a what-if analysis on any items that will actually do a mini explosion and calculate the estimated lead times based on my actual availability of materials in this bill of materials. It'll come back using Color Flash. The green parts, I have plenty of stock. The red items are my problem items or my possible shortages. And if I just want to look at my shortages, I can click here. I can email this out to my buyer if I want to get any quotes on these parts. Or I can drill down to see what other assemblies or jobs these are being used on. Overall, my what-if simulation tool comes back and gives me an available to promise date or a date that I should be able to promise this assembly to the customer. So here in the Max sales area, you have the ability to generate quotes, convert them to orders, do what-if simulations that will give you estimated lead times, and overall provide better customer service to your market. All right, now that I've got firm demand into the system, I'm going to move to my Materials tab. And that demand will work hand in hand with the Master Scheduling, where Max allows you to track forecast information over time, and it will plan for the greater of the two between your forecast and your actual demand. Then we can drive that through the MRP engine. And MRP will net out the demand and supply information to generate a planner action tool that will give you exception messages where you need to create new orders, where you need to push in or out existing orders, and where you have problem situations that require extra attention. For example, it would have pushed this order out except it was firm planned. So here on my planner action screen, I have the ability to see the old date, the recommended new date, and to take action or update that right on demand. All right, so MRP's job then is to create planned orders when there's something that I need to buy. And it's going to tell me how many I need, when I need them, and what products to get. Here in the purchasing module, we push those through as a purchasing schedule. The purchase order itself is an on-screen order form similar to the quote and sales order that we saw, and the purchasing schedule is available in an easy-to-use spreadsheet-type format. From here, I can look at my requirements by part, by vendor, or by buyer or planner ID. If I pull up a primary vendor, I can see all items that have been planned to purchase from this supplier. I can make changes to these, or if I'm ready to place this order, I can simply highlight the items that I want to order and drag and drop them from my schedule or my to-do list onto a Max PO. They'll come off of my action screen and automatically fill out my purchase order. And from here, I can email or print or send that to my supplier. Max Purchasing allows you to maintain a supplier list as well as an approved vendor part list. This allows me to see multiple vendors that are approved to provide each of my items. And if I have cross-references to manufacturer's part data, this will also show me the vendor part number and the price quantity breaks that that supplier has quoted me. If I click on my printer icon, I have the ability to email any form directly from my desktop. So from here, I can simply click my email icon. It will format this into a PDF file and attach it to my email message, and I can send it right from my desktop. The Max Purchasing module allows you to manage and track standard POs, non-inventory POs, blanket orders, as well as subcontract or outside processing orders. With these tools, you can measure vendor performance analysis to ensure your vendors are delivering on time or take action when they're not. And that works together with the Max quality system to ensure excellent quality standards. So Max will track that PO all the way till it arrives on dock, where you can receive it into stock in the inventory control module. Max offers easy transactions for every type of material movement, whether you're transferring between locations, receiving to stock, as we're going to do together today, issuing out to WIP, adjusting inventory up or down, and it also provides an excellent cycle counting process that allows for an ongoing cycle count that can have parts to be counted each day that makes the management of that much more straightforward. All right, I'm going to receive in the purchase order that we just created, and here on my receiving screen, I can receive items one at a time in the top section, or in my bottom grid, if I have a purchase order with multiple line items, I can receive them all at one time. So I'm going to bring up the items on my PO, and it will show me the quantities that I'm expecting to be received. Now, if I actually receive something different than this, I'd come in and update or override this with my actual quantity. I'm going to highlight these three items and click my process button, and Max will receive these into stock. It's giving me a warning that before I put them away, that these are short for an order on the floor. So it has pop-up warnings that help to make your transactions and your process flows in sync. Now, by performing that receipt to stock, Max recorded a transaction history record, and this will give me any and all transactions that have been performed in my system. I'll look just at the transactions for today and hit my query button, and here's the three items that I received into stock. Max also has excellent capabilities for tracking lot and serial numbers, and so if I pull up a part number that's managed under lot and serial control, I can see which lots and serial records exist in inventory. Every time I use a traceable item, it's going to record the lot or serial number that was used so that ultimately we can see a visual as-built configuration that shows every lot or serial number in a finished product. I also have full recall management capabilities so that if you ever have a problem with a lot number or a serial number or any item for that matter, you can look it up, see any transaction that's taken place, and Max will show you the status of that item. Is it currently in inventory? Has it been consumed on a next hire assembly? Is it out on the manufacturing floor? Or has it already been shipped out to a customer, in which case you may need to recall it. I can save this recall information and attach any additional quality notes and data to this, and that information can be available for the auditors. Using the inventory control module, you can record real-time inventory transactions and have real-time lookup of inventory availability. Now, these transactions can be performed on the screen like we've done here today, or you can use any barcode device or scanner, any Bluetooth scanner, tablet, or smartphone. Max has an application that's available to perform those transactions called Max Anywhere, and I'm just going to give a peek at that module right now. Max Anywhere can be run from any mobile device, and it automatically sizes to the size of your screen. So if, for example, you have a tablet with a Bluetooth scanner, it might look like this. Max Anywhere includes information that can be used to manage sales, materials transactions, or any shop floor transactions or lookups needed. If we focus in on the materials area, since we're looking at inventory transactions, you have the ability to perform any inventory transaction that you can with the desktop version, all from your mobile device. The screens will automatically size with easy-to-use screens so that you can perform that transaction and have real-time data access. You have the ability to perform transactions, to do inventory lookups, or to add or edit any purchase orders that might be needed. In the shop floor control area, you're able to create shop orders, do order releases, or post completions for any operation step. And then here in the sales area, you can look up sales history information, customer data, or you can even enter quotes, orders, and RMAs, all from your mobile device. And if you have screens that you'd like to look at from any of these modules, the favorites area allows you to create favorites so that you can have individual screens. I'll add this to my favorites. So now I'm adding a purchase order, a shop order, and maybe a sales inquiry. With that, as I come back to my home menu, I have my own customized menu with my favorite screens from each area. So as you can see, the Max Anywhere tool makes the transaction processing very simple, and it's available with any mobile device. All right. So that's a little bit about the inventory transaction methods. Once you have plenty of stock, we're ready to move into the production area of Max, and I'm going to drill into my shop floor execution module. Here in the shop floor area, you're able to establish work centers and routings that identify the steps that are necessary to process your product. If I pull up a routing, you'll be able to see here that I have multiple operations that this goes through. I can identify the work center that typically runs this item and the amount of runtime and setup time that we're planning for our scheduling process. Now, as a shop order is created, Max will create start and due dates for each of those operations. And it will generate a production schedule so that each work center has a work to list identifying the jobs that they need to work on each day. This is a sample of a shop order, which will pull the bill of materials and the routing from my standard files. From here, I'm also able to modify or update a job on the fly to handle any exception situations or customizations that are needed. If I click on my reports option, from here I can print my shop paperwork or my traveler. And I'm just going to do that for the job that we just added. I have several options to include reference designator information, manufacturer's part control, or lot or serial data. And I'm just going to run this to the window so that you can see there are many formats for shop travelers and paperwork, but Max does include the ability to incorporate barcodes onto your travelers. Using the barcoding system, you can barcode the item, the order, the component parts, as well as all of the operation sequences. This can be used to help automate the process and collect accurate information from all of your production transactions. Okay, I'm going to post an operation completion here on my desktop screen, but as you recall, you can also do this transaction using the mobile device or any scanning equipment. I'm going to say that we processed all 10 of these through the first operation, and I can indicate the amount of runtime and setup time that was used. Max also has the ability for operators to clock in and clock out of operations, and it will capture the total time and charge that to the work order. So using real-time data collection, you can collect your labor charges as well as your material charges. And all of this adds up and is visible within the Finance tab for cost controls and financial integration to either QuickBooks or Microsoft Dynamics. Here in my costing module, I can look up a total order cost so that I can see for any production work order what my actual materials were compared to my standard, and Max will compute a variance. Same holds true for my labor, any outside subcontract cost, or bulk materials used. The bottom line is I can get a total cost per unit for this work order or job, or I can compare each time we produce this product and what the cost was. So Max provides real-time costing management and easy-to-use financial integration that will take your sales orders and invoices and post them through to QuickBooks Accounts Receivable. It'll take your purchase orders and receipts, allow you to do a three-way electronic match and post that into your payables module. And it will also post through any activity that should go to the general ledger, such as scrap transactions or any inventory material movement not going through AR and AP. All right, with all of this information being collected, reporting becomes an important aspect of an ERP system. And Max allows for dashboard reporting with real-time drill downs to the details. It also allows for Excel analytics to slice and dice information using an Excel spreadsheet with direct access to your ERP information. So no more having to export to Excel and modify from there. The Max Excel Analytics program allows you to slice and dice and analyze your information simply by dragging and dropping, adding fields to any Excel report or pivot table so that you've got easy access to analyze your manufacturing information. All right, so we've looked at all of the data elements that allow you to manage and track your core manufacturing processes. MAX also provides the ability to have mobile access, as we saw with MAX Anywhere. And all of this will update your back-end financials, whether it's QuickBooks or the Microsoft Dynamics financials. MAX also offers expansion functions to allow you to integrate your CRM information, tie in workflow and document management through Synergy for MAX, which is an expansion tool that's available. But for today, I promised you all that we'd save plenty of time for questions and answers. So I hope this walkthrough has given you an idea of the fact that MAX is a very complete manufacturing system with a logical flow through a manufacturing environment. And it allows you to get up and running with your software quickly and easily in a new modern environment. So with that, I'm going to return to the meeting and turn it back over to Kate. And Kate, if you'd like to open it up for questions and answers, I'll be happy to field them.
Perfect. Thank you, Denise. As Denise mentioned, we have a little bit of time to go over any questions that you may have. So please go ahead and type them into the Q&A module, or if you have a question that you'd like to remain anonymous, you can put that as a private chat to me. Okay, Denise, I got a question sent directly to me. Somebody is asking if they can transfer their data from their current system into MAX. And they want to know, is it best to cut over to a new system at your end, or can I do it at any time?
Okay, great. Well, thanks, Kate. Those are both great questions. I'll take the first question first, and that is, can you transfer data from your existing system into MAX? The answer to that is most definitely yes. In almost every implementation, we will import data from another system, whether that's as simple as something like an Excel spreadsheet, or whether you have a current ERP system with sophisticated data that you need to have transferred. We can transfer master files, open records, and even sometimes historical data. So yes, we'll work with you to map your data and make it efficient to get it into the new environment. And then the second question there was, is it best to cut over at the end of the year? And that's really a business decision for you to make. A lot of customers will try to time their implementation so that they can cut over to the new environment at the beginning of a year or minimally at the beginning of a quarter. But we can help you establish best practices and ways so that you'll be able to see your historical data as well as your new environment. Fortunately, at this point in time, you're at a time period where if you got started on your MAX implementation, you could still be up and running live by the beginning of the year. A typical MAX implementation takes anywhere from 2 to 6 months, so depending on the complexity of what you're looking to do, we could still get you up and running before the beginning of the year.
Awesome, thanks, Denise. And who's the person they would want to have that conversation with regarding when to implement?
You should have that conversation with your exact account manager and with one of our implementation specialists. We'll help you take a look at the scope of the project as well as your existing state of your data, and then we can help to make a recommendation. So if you'd like to reach out to your MAX account manager, we'd be happy to help you with that.
Perfect, thanks. Somebody else wrote in, excellent job, Denise, so kudos to you.
Well, thanks very much.
I got one other question from someone. They asked if are there specific hardware requirements for MAX?
Oh, great question, because an ERP solution is a combination of software and hardware as well as the people and procedures required to implement it. So yes, there are hardware requirements, and we have a document called the MAX Gold Standard. If anyone on the call today would like a copy of that, just let us know and we'd be happy to send it to you. But it details out the minimum recommended hardware as well as the versions of Microsoft SQL Server and Windows that are supported with the MAX system.
Perfect, thanks. I don't see any other questions right now, so I'll go ahead and wait another minute to see if anyone else has any last-minute questions about anything that you went over today or anything else related to this.
Great.
Actually, Denise, I have a question while we're waiting. I'm just curious, if you had to pick one thing, what's your favorite thing about Max?
Wow, that's a tough one, Kate.
Sorry.
Well, let's see. I think one of my favorites is the visual bill of materials, the ability to drag and drop and create bills of materials in a visual manner, the drill downs that it provides to more detailed information. That's the thing that I like best about Max.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
I do not see any other questions at this time. I'm ready to close it out, but Denise, is there anything that you would like to address before we do?
No, I just want to thank the people for attending today and let you know that we look forward to talking with you about your specific project, and I'd be happy to schedule a personal or tailored demonstration where we can look at your product and your business requirements and tailor a presentation for your company. So thanks very much for attending, and we'll look forward to learning more about your project.
Thank you all. We hope you have a great rest of your day.